The past couple of days, we have all heard Biden's plan to forgive student loan debt. So he's going to be forgiving $10,000 in federal student loan debt for individuals that do not have Pell Grants, and $20,000 for individuals that do have Pell Grants. But within all of that, it has been a real mix of emotions on how individuals feel on Biden's plan. You know, some people are just like, why is he forgiving student loan debt? Because not everybody has student loan debt. Some people are excited about him forgiving. Some people feel like, you know, $10,000 or $20,000 is not enough. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? You know, for myself, y'all already know, I pretty much had mixed feelings about it, even within some of the videos that I have made, because on the one hand, I really felt like Biden, even though he said in his campaign that he would forgive $10,000 in student loans with an executive order, that was his words. You know, he's been in office, almost going on 2 years, and he haven't done anything. So I was really kind of mixed on it, and I was like, I don't think that he's going to do it, but I did think that he was going to extend the no student loan payment and the no interest. So when he announced that he was going to be forgiven up to $20,000, I was really kind of surprised on the whole thing. Now, it was so funny because a couple of days later on the White House Twitter, you know, because all the Republicans and everybody had their little thing that they wanted to say in regards to his plan to forgive student loans. And, you know, some of the Republicans, they were stating that, you know, Biden should not be forgiving student loans, especially, let's say the farmers and the business owners and the teachers, saying that they should not have to pay for Ivy League doctors and lawyers' student loans. But, you know, in the White House Twitter page, they were like going on a rampage, and they were airing out all the dirty laundry, talking about some of these Republicans who had something to say, telling how much forgiveness they had got with the PPP loans. So I thought that was pretty interesting that they were doing that. I was just like, wow, that is crazy that they're trying to say, oh, we shouldn't be forgiving student loans, but then they got their PPP loans forgiven. And on the one hand, everybody is not business owners. So, you know, you giving all this money for businesses, and, you know, during all of, you know, 2020 and 2021, a lot of the businesses got a lot of money during that time compared to the Americans. They only got, you know, like the $1,200 or the $1,400 in stimulus when the businesses were getting all the money. So I was just like, okay, that's crazy. You know, they're being real hypocritical, those Republicans that were saying, you know, he shouldn't forgive it, but then they were getting a lot of money. So in this video, I really wanted to talk about, do you feel like Biden could have forgave more than $10,000? And then especially everything that came out with what some of the Republicans were saying, do you think that it was enough? Let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts? But let's get into it. Hey everybody, I'm Tasha from the Major Change Group, where we believe small changes can create big results. And if this is your first time on the channel, welcome. We talk about how to get your money straight, how to increase your credit score, and how to use your credit card like a debit card. So we are currently in $1.7 trillion in student loan debt. And now with Biden's plan on how to tackle the student loan forgiveness, you know, a lot of people are stating, well, it's not fair, one, for the individuals that had already paid off their student loans, two, not everybody has went to college. But under the plan, Biden is stating he's going to forgive up to $20,000 in student loan forgiveness. Other debts that are right behind the student loan, $1.7 trillion, is auto loans are currently at $1.4 trillion, and credit card debt is around $1.1 trillion. So, you know, some people are stating, since everybody doesn't have student loan debt, why should they be forgiving student loan debt compared to some of the other debts? And I would say some of my thoughts on that is, with other debts, let's say auto loan and credit card debt, things of that nature, in bankruptcy, you can discharge those compared to student loan debt. You cannot discharge student loan debt in bankruptcy. So there really needs to be more consumer protections around student loan debt. So that's why I thought it was so hypocritical that you had some of these Republicans stating that they should not be forgiving student loans when they had a lot of their PPP loans, because I believe Mike Kelly, he got almost $1 million in his PPP loans forgiven, and some of the other individuals, they had got, you know, even close to $1 million, maybe like 200,000. And, you know, with all of us only getting maybe like 10,000 or up to 20,000 forgiven on our student loans, you know, everybody doesn't have businesses. So that's what I'm saying. So while they're stating that it's not fair for people to be paying off these Ivy League doctors and lawyers student loans, and, you know, they're stating like teachers and farmers, but, you know, teachers, they really need to get their student loans forgiven. And I'm definitely hoping with the public service student loan forgiveness that more of the teachers will be able to get their student loans forgiven, because they have up until October 31st to go over to that site to send in their information. So I'm hoping that more teachers will be able to get it forgiven. But I think it's just so hypocritical that they were, you know, stating that while they're getting their PPP loans forgiven, and a lot of people are not even business owners to be able to get that money. So that's why I'm stating, you know, everybody has their vantage point, but with us being in $1.7 trillion in student loans, I definitely think that something needs to happen with that. And I feel like while that's not enough, I do think that it's a start. But, you know, Bernie Sanders and Elizabeth Warren, they were wanting like 50,000. Well, really, Bernie Sanders, he was thinking that all student loans should be forgiven. But Elizabeth Warren, she was stating more so on 50,000. And with us being in $1.7 trillion in student loan, really the average is going to be around 40,000 per student. But I know for myself, I have about 55,000 in student loan debt. But I really feel like, in my opinion, I think forgiving the student loans, that's really just going to be a band-aid, because really what they really need to be doing is tackling the interest on student loans, because really it's the interest that really eats up the payments on the student loans. And by them forgiving 10,000, once they restart the interest on the student loans, then is it gonna just rack up, you know, within a few years if you don't pay it off? So that's why I feel like by tackling the interest on student loans, that's where we can get more bang for our buck compared to just forgiving the student loans. I feel like that's just a band-aid. But let me know, what do you think in the comments, y'all? I just thought that was so interesting how, you know, they had aired all that out on Twitter. And, you know, them just being hypocrites on that. But I do feel like Biden could do a whole lot more and really just forgive more student loans. But I think all in all, you know, with us being in so much debt, period, you know, 1.7 trillion in student loan debt, 1.1 trillion in credit card debt, 1.4 trillion in auto loan debt, and then if we include medical debt, I don't have that number, but, you know, earlier this year, Biden did change how medical debt reports to the credit bureaus, which will help individuals a lot more, and it's not going to impact their credit score as much. And I definitely almost really feel like student loans should not be reported on your credit report either, because when you are getting your student loans, especially for the federal. So I would definitely say federal student loans should not be reported on your student loans, because they're not doing credit report for you to get your student loans on the federal side, compared to on the private side, you do have to get your credit ran to be able to get those private loans, but not so much on the federal. So I don't think that the federal loans should be reported on our credit report. But see, the thing is, since it is reported, that's really what hurts individuals, because if you default on your student loans, like, that can really impact you compared to that's really not a good thing. So I definitely think if I had my wish, I would tackle the interest on student loans, and also I would not make the student loans report on the credit report, only the private loans. But I do also feel like they should be tackling the private student loans as well, because with the interest rates on those are going up, and it really hinders the borrowers. So let me know what you think in the comments. Do you think Biden should have forgave more than $10,000? What do you think about the Republicans being such hypocrites, saying that, Biden should not have forgave, but then they were getting all their PPP loans forgiven? Let me know what you think in the comments. Please like, subscribe, share with a friend, turn your notification bell on so you will be notified when new content drops. I thank you so much for watching. Until next time.